Hello, I'm Derek DeCosta. Welcome to the first edition of the Become Your Own Gym series. Today's topic will be goal setting and motivation. First of all, I'd like to tell you that I've been in the fitness and health industry for over 18 years. And I've had literally probably thousands of people ask me, what is the secret to succeeding in health and fitness? And I'll tell you, it's a simple one-word answer, and the answer is the whys. The whys before the hows. So you have to know why you're doing it before you set the goal on what to do. So let's begin first with an acronym that I've devised called the CAP. In order to get your journey started, you need a CAP. CAP stands for a clear, accountable, and passionate goal. First, let's go over the clear aspect. Clear means this is a goal that you can foresee in the immediate future, like a cruise, a reunion, a wedding, perhaps the summer's coming up, something that you can start right away with a very short-term window of opportunity. The accountability means you need to tell people that you care about, that you respect, that you admire, family or friends, about this particular goal. Because once you tell people that you care about, now you created a circle of accountability. And now you're going to have to answer these people, hopefully, if they truly are your friends and family who care about your success. They will encourage you and inspire you to succeed. And finally, the passionate part means that you have to have something that you're really excited about at an emotional level that's very personal, so that you feel like you need to take immediate action to get to some kind of resolution. So to overview, the CAP stands for, again, a clear, accountable, and passionate goal. And goal, by the way, is nothing but a dream with a deadline. So this particular dream, of course, is not a short-term dream per se. It is a lifelong journey. We're talking about a lifestyle change in wellness, and therefore, if you really want to be successful in this, it has to be something, again, truly passionate and personal. Next, in order for this goal to work for you, you have to take action. So what does that mean? That means that you cannot talk about it, philosophize about it, write in your journal about it, and then take no action. You've got to do something towards attaining this goal every single day until you accomplish it. And that's the basic premise. Once you set the goal, you must take action until you get the result. And then once you achieve the result and get to your first goal you've set, you must set another goal immediately. So you don't go into what's called an astronaut syndrome. And that basically means if you strive to go to the moon and you reach the moon, then what's next? Well, then you've got to go to Mars. You have to have something past your goal already established, so that once you reach your goal, you can start your new journey once again. Okay? Next is going to be something called capacity versus potential. Capacity versus potential basically is discussing when you're setting the goal of what you want to be realistic and what you want to actually accomplish. Here's what I mean by that. Initially, when somebody sets a goal, they may be fantasizing, thinking about their high school or college years, saying, well, I'm going to run a marathon again like I did in college, or I'm going to bench press 300 pounds, or something that's a fantasy from the past. And your past does not reflect the future, and you must be able to be realistic and live within your capacity of today. That's including whatever injuries you may have, any medications you're taking, any limitations that you have. And keeping in mind that you may be slightly out of shape and it's going to take a little bit of time to get acclimated towards your journey. So capacity means initially being realistic. Once you start your workout, however, you want to use capacity in another frame. Here's what I mean. Once you start exercising, what you want to say to yourself is, well, here's what I can do in this particular exercise, or you think you can do. The reality is you're always going to hold back just a little bit towards your potential. It's a safety mechanism, and we do it because of our fear of the unknown, because you haven't been here before, and you don't know what to expect, so you will innately hold back 1%. So that is the difference between capacity and potential in an exercise mindset, is that you'll always hold back a little bit, so you do 1% more towards reaching your actual outcome. All right. Next is going to be something called seconds and centimeters. This is once you start exercising, the rule of improvement comes into play. And I use a word in my system called Kaizen, and I've adopted that word. It's a Japanese word, and it means essentially incremental improvement in every aspect of your particular goal. And in this arena, it would be a physical capacity. So as you exercise, the words seconds and centimeters refers to the fact that what you want to try to do is improve by 1% in whatever arena that you're tackling at that moment. So if you have it as a goal to move 1 centimeter more or go for a 1 second longer, that's highly achievable, as opposed to saying something that's a bit unrealistic, as in adding another mile or 30 or 40 more pounds on that particular exercise, or something that's not going to be reachable. So you want to make sure that it's small, measurable amounts that you can easily attain on that particular day, so that you have what I call wins in your column and you always have success on your side. Next is something that I refer to as the muscle pie. Now, are we going to bake a pie here? No. What I'm referring to is the pie is an acronym, and you have 3 different muscles within the parameters of the wellness training. And the first, of course, is the physical element when you're actually exercising and moving your body. So that would be the P in the pie. The I would stand for the intellectual, which is your mind of the information that you'll be collecting. Okay, this is your database, and all the knowledge that you collect is potential power that you store in your mind. So that's intellectual. And finally, the E on the pie is emotional. And that's how you feel about the exercise, and that's how you feel about yourself as you exercise or prior to. So what the pie represents is a circle or a cycle of behavior. You have to have one with the other, and that creates momentum for you or movement forward. So if you have the physical integrity, the intellectual capacity, and the emotional substance, which gives you confidence, now you have a cycle of behavior that's going to be congruous to the identity that you're trying to attain. And so the pie formula is very important to remember when you're exercising muscles. Don't forget about the 2 largest muscles that you really can't see in the mirror, which is the intellectual and the emotional. They have to be addressed first, because if you don't feel confident about what you're doing, you're never going to, for long term anyway, do the physical aspect of the training. And so I would implore you to investigate your comfort level. That's the emotional part, and then go 1% beyond that every single time that you train to expand the emotional muscle within the pie formula. Moving on, next is going to be the inspiration and empowerment. This is a very important section to understand. And here's the difference between the 2 words. They may sound the same, but they're not quite the same. First is inspiration. Inspiration, the way I define it, is very much like perspiration. It's very exciting during the process, but it's short-lived. And much like perspiration, inspiration will dry up eventually. So how do you keep that enthusiasm to exercise or to eat properly or to make the time and schedule what you're supposed to do? That comes with something called empowerment. And empowerment, by definition, or my definition, is a strategic success formula. That means that you are going to condition this particular success pattern by repeating it every single day, day in and day out. And after a while, it will become unconscious competency or subconscious behavior, otherwise known as your identity. And just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower or taking care of your family or going to your job, you do it unconsciously. You don't have to think about it. And so like anything else that you want to develop as a pattern of behavior, you have to repeat it again and again and again initially through conscious effort. So that's the difference between inspiration and empowerment. Inspiration is like a commercial that's very exciting. Empowerment is the movie. That's your life. But in order to make sure that you have the enthusiasm sustained throughout your journey, you have to start first, again, with a clear goal, the cap. All right? So moving on, next is going to be the 4 phases of learning. This is kind of parlaying off what I just said about the inspiration and empowerment. You need to understand how you're going to stay inspired and how you're going to keep that empowerment. Well, initially, in the stages of learning, the first part that you're going to deal with is going to be what's called ignorance. And ignorance is another way of saying that you just don't know that you don't know. No one's ever told you, and so you weren't aware of it. As in right now, you may be watching this program saying, geez, I didn't know there was so much to goal setting in a workout program. So now you come to the second phase, which is going to be the awareness. And awareness basically is you saying to yourself, well, now I know I don't know. So now what's next? And that's phase 3, which is going to be the actual conditioning. That means that this is the part you got to actually work. You got to get up, you got to schedule it, you got to get yourself together and organize your meals and your workouts. This is the actual work aspect of the whole formula. But once you do this for enough times, hundreds of times or thousands of times, you come to the magical part, which is the empowerment part. That's phase 4. This is the subconscious conditioning part where you don't have to think about it anymore. It's automatic. It's like when you drive your car to work, sometimes you don't have to think about taking a turn or not because it's unconscious competency. That means it's subconscious. All right, so let's move on to what I call the strategy for success. Strategy for success means that in order for you to really succeed at this program, you have to think long term. And in order to be long term, you have to get some momentum developed. My suggestion to anybody that starts a workout program is to always start with the easiest possible thing first. For example, if you used to be a dancer, if you used to run before, if you used to bike before, if you used to swim before, no matter what activity, tennis, no matter what you did in the past, if you were good at it and you enjoyed it, that's what you should start with first. Because that's going to give you a sense of confidence because you are already competent in that particular arena. From that point on, you can develop new skills and add it to your repertoire. The worst thing that you can do is start a situation with an unknown arena and try to learn another unknown particular skill or tool. So it's always a good idea to start with a known thing, which is something that you've done in the past, a skill that you have. And then once you get going and get some results and get your endurance up, then try to learn one new thing. Again, the 1% rule, Kaizen, constant incremental improvement. Those wins, even though they're very small, will start to add up and turn into the wind in your sail of success and push you forward and propel you forward towards your goal. The other way to look at getting the strategy for success is think of it like a wagon wheel. And within the wagon wheel, you have spokes. And each spoke could represent, let's say, exercise, nutrition, motivation, your circle of accountability, your family and friends. Anything that you can add is another spoke in the wheel, and that strengthens the wheel so that you cannot collapse it with the pressures of life, and you can continue to move towards the actual goal. One thing to keep in mind is this, is that once you start your journey, you're going to have resistance. You're going to have challenges. Things are going to come in your way, including time management skills. So that means that you're going to have to figure out a way to schedule this in, and I'll tell you the secret. Secret is, if you condition this so that you're accountable to the people that you love and care about and people that you respect, chances are very, very good that you're going to find time automatically because it will no longer be a should. It will be a I must do this because it is now part of my identity and people expect me to behave in this particular fashion and live my life in this way. One rule to remember also is that you will become who you surround yourself with and the mediums that you read or the videos that you watch or the CDs that you listen to. And here's what I mean by that. If you decide to start this journey in fitness and set a goal and you put all the passion and enthusiasm behind it, but then you tell no one and then you never read a book or watch a video or go to a gym or surround yourself with people who exercise, after a while it'll be a distant memory because you no longer feel reinforced because you need that social proof from your environment to validate your new identity. That's why it's important to find the family members or friends or new friends perhaps that are like-minded on your journey towards wellness. Let's define the actual word wellness. People get confused a lot of times about this. And here's what wellness really means. There are 3 components in the wellness factor. The first is fitness. Fitness is basically your physical attributes. You know, how many push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups you can do, that kind of a thing. How far can you run, your endurance, how flexible you are. That is fitness. That plus what's called health, that it would be your immune system, your circulation, your triglyceride level. That's your internal health, okay? That plus what's called philosophy, or your willingness to succeed, your mentality, on what you focus on. So if you focus on negativity and failure of your past, then you're going to fail, because if you don't believe that you'll succeed and you face one challenge, well, you're outnumbered. It's you and your doubts against you. It's 2 to 1. So you got to keep in mind that your past does not reflect your future, and that your mind navigates your body. And so if you don't believe it, then your mind will not turn your body into a liar. And so in order to really believe your particular goal or your new journey, you've got to reinforce it continuously by conditioning it over and over again every single day initially through actual cognitive thinking and scheduling it. But after a while, you'll start to seek out this information on your own, whether it be through your friends and family or peers, or by joining a group perhaps, or network, or by reading or seeing videos that will reinforce this kind of information. Now, one of the things I want to tell you is you want to make sure you add to your repertoire by not doing one particular activity over and over again, expecting better and different results. So you want to have more tools in your toolbox. Here's what I mean. If all you have is a hammer in your toolbox, and no matter what situation you face, you're going to have to hammer it out. And so if you have more exercises, more routines, more techniques in your toolbox per se, then you have more choices to build the kind of body or life that you want. And so I would tell you that you need to read as much as you possibly can, or watch mediums that will encourage you to learn new skill sets, that will expand your personal comfort level and also give you more choices within the length of your journey toward your goal. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, whoever's watching this right now. You may be sitting home thinking, well, that's very nice. These ideas are great, but they won't work for me because I'm out of shape, I'm on medication, I have knee problems, shoulder problems, and on and on and on. I have a family, I have kids, I work hard. And this is all true. And everybody has conflicts in schedule, and you have busy lives. But I'll tell you this, that no matter who you are and no matter what situation you're in, there is an answer for you. There is a solution to your problem. But you got to take the first step by acknowledging that you do have a challenge and that you must do something about it, because it's not going to get better by itself. You're going to need to take some steps toward it. And my advice to you is tune into this program and into continuing programs in the future to learn more information. Information is stored power. And eventually, with that stored information, once you start taking action, that is the actual power, information with application. In the meantime, make sure that you take some action today by writing down something on a piece of paper, calling somebody on a telephone, and doing something saying that you do need to make a change and that you are willing to take responsibility for your lives. I'd like to finish by telling you that I want to thank you for watching, and I want to tell you that I'd like to see you in the future episodes of the Become Your Own Gym series, so that you can educate yourself on all the other aspects that we haven't discussed today, including nutrition, flexibility, cardiorespiratory health, and strength training. Once again, remember to kickstart fitness by getting educated, to keep motivated, and don't quit. Thanks for watching. See you next time.